Hello, how are you? Good morning. I am taking my breakfast and I had this thought. Excuse me if I look tired. Since I came to Accra, it's been nonstop. It's been nonstop. And I want to just take this opportunity to talk about this topic. So, I did travel to Ghana a couple days ago. I'm in Accra. And um, I saw on one of my comments, which was really interesting, there was a young lady talking about how she's been to Ghana, but she prefers South Africa. And that's the place where she likes to be. Um, Ironically, I feel that way about South Africa. It's like I've also been to South Africa, but it's not a place that I would want to live. It's a place for holidays, in my opinion, for me. And so I wanted to talk about this because your decision to come to the motherland is for you. Whatever that means, whatever context it surrounds that, it's not for anybody else. What one person likes, the next person might not like. I love Ghana. You know what I mean? I love Ghana and it's for me. I've traveled to other places and I don't think that, that they would be as suitable for me, and that's okay. One of our big problems is we have to, we're always in this, I don't know, competition or something as to what people do. Listen, just because I like Ghana doesn't mean that's got to be your place. Okay? Just because you like Kenya doesn't mean, I don't know why we have this habit of, oh, it's the best. It's the best for dice points. It's this, it's that. Look, every place has its positive. Every place has its negative. Everybody has whatever is going on. Maturity is going to tell you, even in America, wherever you guys live. Shout outs to the family. I see you in the room and with the likes. Thank you so much. You are on code. You know what to do. Good morning to you. It is it's after 10 a.m. here in Accra, and I'm talking about this topic while I have my breakfast. Yes. Even in America where you live, there's different parts of town that you may prefer. You know what I mean? There's different types of amenities that you look for or whatever. I don't know why people feel like if they don't like Ghana, if they don't enjoy Ghana, then, they want to tell me about it. And I'm like, well, that's your business. That has nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? I've already toured and traveled, in Africa. And I haven't been to everywhere, but I have been to several countries. Big shout outs, guys. What's up? What's up? What's up? Thanks for being here today. Yes. Yes. So I made the decision to come to Ghana after I traveled. You know what I mean? I made the decision. I visited Egypt. I visited Kenya, Tanzania. I visited South Africa. I visited Nigeria. And, I had the feeling about Ghana before I did all those travels, but I did those travels just in case, just to confirm with myself. And, that's what it is. And as I was recently traveling, and I got to the Ghana plane, the gate where the Ghanaian plane was going to leave, it immediately felt like home. People were chit-chatting, making friends, having a laugh, you know what I mean? And it has the vibes. That's the Ghana vibes, you know what I mean? So big shout outs. I see you guys. Who's in the room? Is it AI Pooley? Hello. Coquetto Stella. What is stray kids? I don't know what stray kids are, honey. I don't know what that means. That has nothing to do with my topic, okay? It's so wild. Whenever I go live here on YouTube, I get like all these strange people on my channel that have never seen me before, and they come in and they start talking about random topics, and I'm like, yo, I'm okay. I'm having my breakfast today. I recently traveled from the UK to Ghana, so you guys can hear. Whenever I get on the plane, I always get kind of a small cough and stuff like that from the recycled air. So I'm having breakfast, and I decided to talk about this because I don't know why we have this very, negative habit about, okay, well, I don't like Ghana, so, it's not the place to be. Let people determine that for themselves. I've been telling you guys for years and years that before you make any major decisions regarding Africa, come and travel first. Come and travel. I know that a lot of Hollywood has just taught you this euphoric response. What's up, Blackavelli? How are you? Big shout outs to you. Good morning. Yeah, that travel cough, man. I think it's the recycled air on the plane. I get a headache. I've got a headache and all that, but it goes with the territory. Being on these long international flights and stuff, and I did transit. I went to Cairo. The the flights coming to Ghana and basically like Africa, West Africa, in December, the prices are like out of this world. So I had to take transit because the direct flight was almost 2,000 pounds, and I was like, no, 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 I'm not doing all that. Yeah, so I'm recuperating, but find your spot. You know what I mean? There's a lot of variety on the continent. You don't have to choose where I've chosen. You don't have to. I mean, in retrospect, if I was, just beginning my journey to the motherland now, I probably would want to go to a less popular place. Ghana has since become very popular since I made this decision. And that brings a lot of attention, a lot of riffraff, a lot of commentary and all that. When I was planning to come to the continent, I never banked on this mass, migration and having to deal with some of the things that I knew were going to happen when a lot of people come here. A lot of cultural differences, a lot of foolishness, and especially with this social media. Every time somebody doesn't get their way, they're running online and making a video about it. And it's so immature because it's to be expected. And I don't know what it is about Westerners that they're just so like oblivious. You know what I mean? Like you're literally moving to a new country. You don't know the place. So of course that comes with various challenges. Of course. Of course you're going to go through cultural differences. And I don't know what it is. I mean, about people romanticizing Africa and things like this. If you moved to China, you would understand that was a part of it. If you move to Japan, I don't care how many anime videos you watch and how much you go to the sushi bar and all that stuff, you would understand that, okay, I'm going to a new country and there's going to be differences. I don't know why when it comes to the Westerners leaving America, coming to the motherland, where these weird expectations and things like that are coming from. You are moving to a new country. And especially if you've never traveled before, if you've never traveled before, then it could be a massive culture shock for you. Blackavelli says, I tell people a good point of entry is South Africa. I think for a lot of Western Blacks, South Africa is the move. What's up, Lewis? I see you there. I think for South Africa, because the infrastructure is very similar, and quite frankly, I know this is a little controversial, but a lot of our people have a dependence on the whites. They can't really live in an environment where the whites are not there. It's hard for them to fathom. And so in South Africa, they can still get the elements that they're accustomed to. They can still get that familiarity. They can still deal with racism. They can still deal with stereotypes. They can still deal with, the whites living really comfortably while some of the locals don't live that well. So for many Western blacks, because the damage has been done on them, the damage has been done. And I want to say, if you're coming to Africa, start with the decolonization of your mind. Okay, start with the decon, because whether or not you want to admit it, you've grown up in the Western world. That's been your exposure. You're so much you're so white in many ways. Your mentality, what I'm saying? Your mentality is the way you negotiate, your outlook and all that stuff. It's so white because that's where you've been at. So in order for you to embrace something else, you have to deprogram that stuff. That you coming to the motherland to save the motherland, and you coming to the motherland to get these people on track, and they're stupid. They're, whatever. You're so smart. You have the solutions. All that stuff is part of the colonizing of your mind. Maturity will tell you that at the same time, blacks in the diaspora were encountering various movements. You have the Windrush generation in the UK, you have Jim Crow, you have obviously the transatlantic slave trade. You have so many historical periods where black people were facing hardship in the Western world. Guess what? Hello? They were also experiencing various things across the continent. They also were having Europeans destroying their lands and mining and stuff like that. They were doing all that stuff. If there's a particular country that you are interested in, go and do the research of the history of that place. And then you will be surprised to learn things. Or when you come on a tour with me, for instance, here in Ghana, I take you to a lot of the museums and stuff like that, so that you can see some of the history of Ghana before you got into it, before YouTube, before Daddy December. People have been living here for centuries. Okay, just because you discovered Africa last year on YouTube doesn't mean that it's new. Okay, these people have wealth of history and heritage, and you don't know it. You don't know it. So you have to teach yourself. And this is one of the critical differences between me and some other people that are experiencing a lot of hardship. I embrace my new home. You know what I'm saying? I embrace my new home. And in order for me to get even more comfortable, I have to arm myself with the knowledge. And I know I didn't get it, through traditional means. I had to pursue it myself. What's up, guys? If you're here, hit the likes. If you're with the African superstar, because I see you in the room. What's up? Lewis Simpson. Yeah, no, I'm not into politics. I don't want to do any of that. What's up, Kane? I see you there. Repping from New Jersey. I have not watched Stranger Things. No, I have not. Yes. So that's today's message. I'm not going to be long. I'm having breakfast and then I need to get my day. I mean, I've literally hit the ground running. Came to Ghana and it's been nonstop ever since I got here. Yes. You have to determine if this is something for you. Okay. And if you can't, you ain't feeling it. If that's the truth. If you come to the motherland and you ain't feeling it, that's okay. It's okay for you to admit that, I think that I don't really see myself here. You know what I'm saying? I actually like my life in America. I actually like my life in Europe. It doesn't have to be all in for everybody. For certain individuals, that's what we're going to choose. And that's how we're going to live. Kane, your granddad lives in Ghana. Yeah, Ghana, there's a really big retiree community here. A lot of retirees have come here and settled in Ghana. So big shout outs to your granddad. I didn't want to wait till I was old. You know what I'm saying? I had to try to make something happen now. And the journey is still going, but we on it now. I'm trying to do, because retirement, I don't know when when or where or how my retirement is going to look like. They talking 67, 65. I'm in my 40s. It can't go down like that. What's up, Blanket? I see you there. Hello. Big shout outs to you guys. Having breakfast live here with you from Accra, Ghana. I traveled from the UK a couple days ago. And I had to start this morning while I have my breakfast. So I just decided to come live, see you guys, and talk about this. Okay, one stroke. As I say, different strokes for different folks. You may not like Ghana. You may not see the hype. I think, especially for people that haven't really traveled in Africa, coming from the Western world, there's obviously infrastructure problems here. There's rough roads. Sometimes there's light out. You might see litter some places and things like that. And you're just like, ooh, is this, what is up with this place? Ugh, I don't like it. Comparatively, if you visit some other nations, you will see that Ghana is the black star of Africa. I mean, there are a lot of Africans from neighboring countries that even want to come here and settle and live in Ghana because compared to some places, the infrastructure, the electric is better here, it's safer, these kind of things. So, I say it over and over and over again. I think that it's worth you doing the traveling to make that determination before you get drastic. Some people don't have the money to tour in Africa, or so they say. I say to that, you may not be ready yet. Because moving here, unforeseen things can happen. And if you're from the Western world, you need to travel back. You got family over there, your kids are over there. You just never know when you might need to go back. You need to have some means to make moves. If you don't have the means, you need to have resources. You need to have somebody you can tap into, or retirement or emergency account or something. Moving abroad is not a game. And I don't know why people are doing it so casually. But it doesn't surprise me that they get a lot of the outcomes that they get. Because, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, basically. Nobody has ever said, oh my God, I'm so happy that I was prepared for that emergency. But there's, innumerable people that have said, oh my gosh, I was not prepared. Moving abroad and being a foreigner somewhere, you need to think about the worst case scenarios. You need to think about, some of us have aging parents. You need to think about that. My parents pass away or they get sick. Can I travel? Whatever. Keep your documents valid so that you can do that. Now, I'm traveling between 3 countries. I primarily go to Europe more, the UK. I was in the UK for several months before I came here. I do visit the US, not as often, but managing all these locations, bank accounts in every place, IDs, passport, keep it all tight. It's not, look, we make it look, you might watch us and think that it's easy, but it really takes a lot of maintenance behind the scenes to facilitate this. I am an international traveler. I've been traveling for years, since my childhood. So all those various experiences have culminated the woman that I am today. And usually if I go through an experience, then I, have it on my head to try to factor that in. Okay, well then this happened. I need to try to, have that in mind. This could happen, blah, 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 blah. And prepare for that and plan for that. And, I just can't get away from telling you guys that is the way forward. That's been my area of success, is preparing and thinking about the future, trying to, overcompensate for some different outcomes and work those things out. So 2026 is going to be a big year for me. I have a lot of things in the woodworks. And, I'm on it. So I'm very happy. I'll be bringing in the new year here in Ghana. I feel so relaxed. Like I said, the minute I got to the gate and I was among Ghanaians, I just felt home. I felt comfortable. Normally if I'm in the airport, I'll wear my headphones throughout. From the minute I get in the airport, all throughout the flight, till I get to my destination. When I got to the Ghana, gate, people start talking to you. So I had to take the headphones off and, have a conversation with people. And then after we landed, we were in a crowd waiting for our bags. Everybody's chit chatting and exchanging numbers. And that's what I love about, coming from the UK where people don't really talk to you. It can be a very lonely place. It's so refreshing to just, have people have a chit chat with you. And that's something that's been consistent here in Ghana. I never feel like a foreigner here in Ghana. I've literally never felt like a foreigner here in Ghana. And I've also equipped myself with a lot of the local knowledge that also helps me integrate, because when they're talking about stuff, I can jump into the conversation. When they're playing music, I know the songs. When they're eating local food, I eat it too. I've traveled I've traveled a bit within the country to see different cities and those kind of things. I'm learning the history, and these type of things really add depth to your life in your new homeland. I know some people like the Fords out in Tanzania, they've learned Swahili, so they can speak, it seems fluently, Swahili with the local people, and all that stuff adds depth to, you know, your experience in the continent. But unfortunately, some people are coming without that knowledge and feeling like they don't need to acquire it, and then complaining that they don't feel a part of the place. Well, I should just tell you, and I'm going to wrap up. Big shout out to Machiavelli. I see you there. When you choose to migrate, okay, especially as an adult, the burden of proof is on you. Okay, you're going to a new country. The new country ain't coming to you. So that means you're going to have to put yourself out there in terms of knowing the place and getting acclimated. Okay, nobody is impressed that you're there. It's not a big deal. I mean, in some cases, depending on how you look, they may not even notice you from day to day. You might just blend in with the local people, and nobody's even going to recognize that you have come from the West or whatever. That means that you have the burden of proof of learning the place, trying to equip yourself with as much information that you can. Learning the language is powerful. I hear some of the diasporans complain that, they're getting scammed and people are always overcharging them. Well, then if you speak their language, you can negotiate. You can go back and forth. If they're having a conversation regarding you or something, you can jump in there. But if you don't know the language, you can't. You know what I mean? If you don't know what's going on around you, you can't. What's up, Robin? I see you there. Hi. Blockavelli said, yes, the police said hello and good afternoon to me. Yeah, the police are quite friendly for the most part. I mean, I know that there's stories of them trying to extort money and things like that, but I've literally never seen a police officer here manhandling anybody or being aggressive or shouting or, the connotation of them is a bit different in my opinion here. Than what we're used to in the Western world when we see the officers and things like that. So, I just think that we need to be more mature about this move and think about it. You know what I'm saying? And if we want to have success, we need to equip ourselves the best way that we can. I know, for instance, I have a lot of people that think that I'm going to fail in Africa. They want that. They're waiting. They come and watch me to hear a sob story, to hear a losing report. I'll be damned if I give it to them. Robin, thanks. Yeah, immediately I came in to Ghana because normally I always have my nails done here, but in the UK I wasn't having my nails done because of the job that I'm working. I can't have my nails done, which is unfortunate for me. And the pedicure. So I literally came to Ghana, went and took my bags home, went straight to the salon, and got my nails done. So yeah, I mean, I'm only gonna keep them for a little while because I will be traveling again soon. But yeah, for this next few weeks, I'm gonna be fresh to death. Yes. What's up, Daniel? Happy Monday to you too. Are you happy this Monday? Are you having a good Monday? Yeah, I had to remind myself it was Monday because here in Ghana, another place, I never know what day it is because it be going down in Africa. Well, in Ghana, it goes down. And right now, it's still the festive season. So there's a lot of parties, there's a lot of festivals. I mean, because yesterday, you would have thought yesterday was like a Friday night. The traffic was crazy. I went to the beach yesterday and yeah, it was like, I was like, damn. And I went to visit a couple friends. I was outside, y'all. I was outside. And I'm so tired. Can you tell? I'm exhausted. It's been nonstop since I got here. But, it feels so good to be home. I mean, every time, when I'm abroad and I'm traveling back to Ghana, there is this excitement, and I was thinking about it on the way here. I'm like, I really believe that Ghana might be the love of my life. Because Ghana, I never get tired of it. I'm always excited. Like it gets to the point a couple nights before I travel, I can't even sleep because I'm just like, oh my God, I can't wait to get back. I can't wait to get on the plane. I can't wait to, you know what I mean? The excitement is real. But again, that's me. That is my own experience. Some of you, Ghana might not be the place for you. You might, somewhere else might be the place for you. Anything is impossible. What's up, fam? Maybe I will get to Jamaica one day. I don't know if you know or not, but my mother's a Bermudian. So sometimes I go to Bermuda, but I've never been to Jamaica. I've never been to any other of the Caribbean islands currently, only Puerto Rico. And that's it in terms of the islands in the Atlantic and Bermuda. I used to frequent Bermuda growing up. I used to go to Bermuda every summer until I went to university. I went to Bermuda 2 years ago for the annual cricket match, which is called Cup Match. I don't know if you guys play cricket in Jamaica, but yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, I might make it to Jamaica. I don't know, but I have not been there yet. I know it's a popular destination. What's up, Ashton Gate? I see you there. Hi, guys. I'm just finishing up my breakfast here and telling you that your relationship with the motherland is for you. It's not for anybody else. Some of you, I haven't seen it lately as much, but I used to see it in the future. I mean, in the past. Oh, well, how much do you recommend that I save? And where do you recommend that I go? You got to make that determination. I don't know what you like. I don't know how you feel. I don't know what your game plans are. One of the things I love about Ghana is the hot weather. You know what I mean? When I traveled to North Africa, East and South Africa, their weather is a bit more moderate. You know what I'm saying? Like the times that I was in Kenya, I never had a really extremely hot day. I'm sure they may get them, but I never experienced that. When I went to Egypt, it was cold, which I was surprised that Egypt even has winter. And, South Africa also has seasons and things like that. I like hot weather. You see what I'm saying? So Ghana, like West Africa is already the vibe for me because it's tropical here all year long. And so, I don't know what you like. You got to figure that out. Anything is impossible says, I'm from Jamaica, but living in the States. Yeah, we play cricket in Jamaica. One day I'll come visit Ghana. You're most welcome to come here. We have a lot of Jamaican folks here in Ghana, and the Ghanaians also love Jamaica. They love dance hall music. They love reggae music. It's really big and popular here. So, you'll fit right in. I mean, I know a lot of like intercultural relationships between Jamaicans and Ghanaians. Like it seems that they vibe well and stuff like that. And historically, they are saying, I believe that some of the language in Jamaica, there are some comparable words to the tree language here in Ghana. So there's a lot of connections and ties between Ghana and Jamaica. So yeah, you're most welcome to come. What's up, Emma Martinez? I see you there. Rashid Cleveland. Hello, good morning. It's the one and only African superstar coming live to you from Accra, Ghana, talking about this topic because people be always trying to, I don't know why people see me in Ghana and they see that it's good for me. They see that I'm happy. They see that I'm flourishing. And then they come with this whole doomsday thing, which is like, well, I don't like Ghana and they got this going on. That has got to do with you. That don't got to do with me. That has nothing to do with me. So am I supposed to pack up my bag because you had a bad experience in Ghana? I'm supposed to pack my bags and get out because I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Emma had a bad situation in Ghana. I can't stay here again. You know, as far as it's working out for me, that's what's up. Anything impossible. I went to Egypt 2 years ago, man. It was fun. Yeah, Egypt. I like Egypt. I'm not going to lie to you. I spent 2 weeks in Cairo and Luxor. It was lit. I had a good time. You know, I hear there's a lot of racial stuff there, obviously, because it's the Arab folks. But see, I went undercover because I was wearing the kaftans. I dressed like an Egyptian, walk like an Egyptian. So, you know, they have the whole Islamic culture there. And I dressed like one of those ladies. I was covering my hair. You know, I would have the concierge tie my scarves and stuff because I don't even know how to tie them scarves. And I was wearing kaftan dresses and stuff. And they didn't recognize, you know, I was walking up and down the street. And I would just get compliments and stuff like that. And the Egyptian dudes would be like, hey, brown sugar. And I used to be like, okay. But I did used to see the Westerners, though. And because the Westerners were wearing, you know, Western clothes, jeans, T-shirts, it like really stands out, obviously, in that environment where most people are wearing the Islamic attires and stuff. So when they would see the tourists, they would flock to the tourists, you know what I'm saying? And try to sell their goods and offer tours and all that stuff. But I was there undercover, you know what I'm saying? See, so once again, be smart. Be a smart traveler like me. Find out what's popping in your destination. You know, one of my biggest goals is see if I can blend in when I get there. I don't want everybody to immediately know that I am not from there. And so I try to do research to know, you know, what kind of clothes, what, you know, these kind of things and all of that. And, you know, I'm a boss. I mean, what can I say? It worked out. What's up? What's up? Blackavelli said, I would love Rwanda. I never want to look like an American when I'm abroad. Facts. I mean, you know, it's a dead giveaway. And I mean, unfortunately, some of our people, they draw attention to themselves. You know, they get out there, they're loud talking. It's like they're not paying attention to their surroundings. Meanwhile, the people, you know, the locals are paying attention to you, you know, and potentially you could be making yourself draw attention or be a target. So again, I just can't stress the importance of trying to figure out the situation of where you're going and what's happening there and observing. You know, it's hard for Americans because they're used to being the center of attention. It's hard for them to come and be quiet and look around and see what's going on. Okay, you know, if you're in a place and everybody's kind of quiet and everybody's low key and then you're just, you know, you have the American accent and everybody's hearing you, you potentially, the scammers can come, the opportunists can come, you know, people will try to sell you stuff, you know, I mean, and that's annoying for me. You know, when you go somewhere like a market or a beach and then all these people just flock to you and, you know, things like that. So I try to prevent that by taking in the surroundings and trying to avoid that. What's up, guys? Okay, I see you in the chat room. Let me greet you guys. I'm wrapping up soon. What's up, Canary Ken? I see you there. Hello. Anything Impossible says, you got to dress like them in the scarf. They told me not to speak to outsiders. I don't know. Why did you ride the camel in the desert? They tricked me. Okay, they tricked me with that damn camel. Because first of all, y'all, I don't do animals. Sorry, I know some of y'all animal lovers. I think animals are amazing and they're beautiful, but they have their place and I have mine, and it doesn't intersect. So I was at the pyramids, and this guy had a camel and it was sitting down. And he said, "Oh, come on, sit down, to take a picture on the camel." And I was like, "No, no, no, I don't really, I told him, I'm like, He was like, "No, just take a picture." He's like, "You're in Egypt. Take a picture." I sat on that thing, y'all. It stood up. And if y'all don't know, them camels, they are so tall. I think that thing was like 10 feet tall. I was holding on for dear life. I was so scared and petrified because I was thinking, like, if I fall off this thing, I'm going to break my neck because they're so tall. And then they have the humps and they walk like, they walk. Oh, so he was trying to walk that thing. I said, "Put it down. Put him down. Me, I'm not on this camel ride stuff." So basically, they tricked me. They tricked me to get on that camel. But yeah, the animals. I mean, when I went to Kenya, I saw the giraffes. I'm talking about real giraffes, because some of them giraffes y'all see in the zoos and stuff in America, nah. These giraffes were like skyscraper tall. So I saw the giraffes, and you go to the place and they give you a bag of giraffe food, and the giraffe will eat it out of your hands if you put the food. And I saw that long black slimy tongue. I said, "Nah, I can't do it." So I gave the food to somebody else to enjoy. So the security guard was like, "You came all the way to Kenya. You're not going to feed the giraffe." I said, "Look, man, I can't get that close to the. I mean, they're majestic creatures, but I don't do the animals, man. Don't do the animals." Yeah, what's up, Canary Ken? Where you been at? That's why you ain't seen me. I don't know where you at. What's up, Adored You from Costa Rica? Wow, thank you so much. Yeah, it's actually an outfit, honey. Let me show you my outfit. See, this is the outfit. Oh, I dropped my. Yeah, it's an outfit. So yeah, it's a one piece. Yes. It's nice. Get to wear nice things when you're in Ghana because it's a tropical climate. When I was in the UK, I'm wearing coats, gloves, jumpers, socks, the whole nine. So thank you so much. Yes. What's up? Go taste and see. I see you there. Yes. Blockavelli said he rode a camel in Dubai. Yeah, them things. I'm sorry, it's scary. Scary to me. Yes. Okay, guys. Well, my breakfast is just about done. And I just wanted to come and have this topic with you. If you're interested in the continent, if you're interested in Ghana, I do offer tours, custom tours. I can come and help you acclimate to the place. I like doing private tours because I think the group be a lot. So it's been much more intimate when you have one or two people or a couple or those kind of things to move around with. So if you're interested in Ghana, what's up, ATM Tim? I see you there. If you're interested in Ghana, you decide you want to come tour here, I offer custom tours. You can get in touch with me at africansuperstar@gmail.com, and we can start mapping out your plans and when you want to come and travel and all that kind of thing. Otherwise, if you're interested in other countries, there's a lot of tour operators now. I know Dynas Demir, he's probably like the top because he's touring a lot of countries. So you can, tour with Dynas Demir. If tours are your thing, if you're nervous about coming to the motherland by yourself and things like that, you kind of want a tour setting. A lot of people are offering tours to various countries, so you can start with that as a stepstone and then build and compound and then figure it out. Figure out, oh yeah, this isn't the vibe. When I traveled to various places, I thought to myself, hey, if I would have picked up and moved here, I would have been mad. Like for me personally, I didn't go to mainland Tanzania. I went to Zanzibar. And, I can't see myself living in Zanzibar. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful place. It's tropical and all of that, but I couldn't see myself living in Zanzibar. And I would tell myself, I told myself, I'm like, just imagine I packed my bags and I came here all to realize that, yeah, no, I'm not feeling it. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to be in those situations. So you can avoid that by doing the needful. Okay, guys, I'm out. Much love to the African Superstar family. If you guys enjoyed this live stream, Make sure you subscribe to me so that you can see me when I go live in the future. Okay? Have a lovely day. Have a lovely Monday. We're getting ready for 2026. I hope you guys are ready for 2026. Yes. If you ain't ready, it's coming. So you better get ready. Hello. All right, family. Until we meet again, stay black and true. If you ain't black, just stay true.